a picture, blind. That picture is 2 kilometres across. You got to guess what it's going to be. Perfect day for it. He is 10,000 feet in the air.
Right.
What he's doing is pumping oil into his exhaust, and that creates the trail that you can see. And today, thanks to the glorious, glorious weather here at Blackpool, he's got a perfect canvas. Now there's precious little wind up there, but believe it or not, the prevailing wind is slightly more than down here. It's sort of 9 knots easterly veering up towards a northerly, but up there it's could be about 15. So he's got to allow for drift, he's got to allow for everything as he comes back round. And you can see that vapor trail carefully enough, that trail in the sky. He's got so little to look at as he's coming to link up to it. Here he comes round now. And all the other lines up there have been drawn by Airbuses or Boeings, folks. And he's coming round, beautifully, beautifully done.
Yeah, very good.
And off goes the smoke. Now where's he going? Oh, he's threading around now. All the while, keeping an eye on what he's doing. On goes the smoke again. Oh, I'm beginning to get an idea. He's doing all of this in sort of reverse order. Now look. Yes, I've got it. And another 1 second burst on the smoke now. One more. Now what are you doing, Rich? Oh, there we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 2 kilometre smiley. Put your hands together, he'll hear it over air traffic. Rich, that's magic. Isn't that incredible? That's a smiley for you at Blackpool. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, feel the noise. Now that's a 9G turn. Gravity is making him weigh 9 times his body weight. He entered at 700 miles per hour. Coming around now for an uncrowd loop. And there you get a good look at the colour scheme, the Union flag. Extra fuel into the exhaust gases to give it at 40,000 pounds of thrust. And pressure breathing, he can take all of these manoeuvres. Kicking off the tailplane there. Now, I'm not normally known for too many statistics, but I'll give you a few. On the Typhoon, the rate of roll is phenomenal. Its rate of climb is phenomenal. Its agility is phenomenal. Contributing to the EJ200 turbofans. Now we slow it down. This is called high angle of attack. Slow, nose up. A conventional aeroplane could not achieve this almost stationary maneuver with its nose high in the air. Now this is a dirty roll. Undercarriage down. Gentlemen, Flight Lieutenant Andy O'Hare. And they can see you all. I like to see lots of waving because they will wave back. Down goes the nose, up you come, pull back on the stick, up, 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 up. And the girls get a completely different view of the tower. At times they'll be travelling at 150 miles an hour and pulling 4G. That's like having 4 of yourself on your shoulder blades, pushing you down. This team...
Look, it's coming back. They're coming. Okay, there's something on the plane.
As they roll in front of you.
Yeah. Look,
On goes the smoke. Our pilots are Dave Barrell and Brian Carnes. And the girls would appear to be lying down on the job. That rig that they're strapped to can rotate. Lead wing walker is Kirsten. She's been a professional since 2018. She's also used to aerial work and the trapeze, circus-wise. She describes herself, well she would, wouldn't she, as an adrenaline junkie. As they come back through their own smoke. Kirsten says that her favourite moment is looping as a wing walker over the Gobi Desert at sunset. I think we've all done that, haven't we? And here they come, straight at you. Emma, on goes the smoke. Emma, all of these people are fitness freaks. She's a marathon runner. Here's the break. She's gone swimming. Here we go. Coming round for an opposition manoeuvre, eyeball to eyeball. And as this is a professional team, I have to say I didn't realise they were allowed to smoke at work. A lady that I know that's doubly insane was a wing walker and went up in loose gear, and she came back down bruised from head to foot. She was doubly insane because she did a wing walk, and more so because she married me. Again, let's get a fabulous Blackpool wave going. That the girls stand on has a pivot at the small of their back, allowing them to rotate almost like a human propeller, should they wish to. Stand by with your cameras. We've cleared the smoke just for you. Here's the break. On goes the smoke. Now, if any of you fancy wing walking, you can find aerosuperbatics on the web, and you can wing walk at their delightful, fabulous, all-grass former World War I airfield at Rencombe in Gloucester. There goes the smoke. Down goes the nose. Building the energy. Back on the skip. And over they go. Slow, run through. They can see you, folks. On goes the smoke. Year on, year out, aerosubatics are here, and we know the Blackpool audience love them. How's that for a balletic pose? Come on, you lot, that's brilliant. This machine is based on the fuselage of a Pitt S2, but everything else is custom built and high tech. This is not an off-the-shelf purchase. It has a unique wing with enormous ailerons that give us this ability to roll at an incredible rate. Rich is former Royal Air Force aircrew. The 9 Squadron Flying Tornadoes, 21 operational missions during Operation Desert Storm in the First Gulf War. Hanging on the propeller. Almost stationary. It's just as happy upside down. Now to pull out that way makes your eyes pop. Holding it at the top of the climb, holding it, kick the rudder and drop back down through your own smoke. Knife edge. Isn't that incredible?
So here they come, the iconic Lancaster, Hurricane and Spitfire formations. Over 7,000 Lancasters were built, but only 2 remain flying in the world today. The RAF is lucky enough to have one of them. During the war, Bomber Command suffered the highest loss ratio of any record combat. In all, over 55,573 men were killed in Bomber Command. The flight's aim is to commemorate the 120,000 men and women who have given their lives in the service of the Royal Air Force. Today, the flight has 6 Spitfires, 2 Hurricanes, a Dakota and a Lancaster, plus 2 Chipmunks used for training. As you can imagine, our small cadre of dedicated engineers is kept very busy looking after 5 different aircraft types and several different marques. These World War II aircraft are flying and preserved in flying condition as a living tribute to those who served their country. The BBMF was formed in 1957 and this year celebrates their 65th anniversary. Today, Spitfire PZ 350 is being flown by Flight Lieutenant Andy Priest. Built in 1940, she was the 14th of 11,939 Spitfires constructed at the Castle Bromwich Shadow Factory. She is the only airworthy Spitfire from the Battle of Britain and a much admired survivor. Put into storage in 1944 until the making of the movie Battle of Britain saw the re-emerge from 20 years of dormancy when she was selected to fly in the film. The paint mark of Kiwi 3, the personal aircraft of the New Zealander Al Deer from the 10th of July 1940, the official start of the Battle of Britain, until the 31st of August, when after being bombed on takeoff from Hornchurch, Al Deer crashed upside down. He survived, but Kiwi 3 didn't. Built at the Vickers Armstrong Rough Factory on Horden, completed on the 31st of May 1945. The war in Europe had ended a few weeks earlier, so the aircraft was modified for Far East operations against the Japanese. Whiskey 5005, side letters Alpha Romeo Lima, for leader, with nose art depicting a kangaroo in Wellington boots playing the bagpipes, representing the mixed nationalities of Scottish, Australian and Welsh of the members of its crew at the time. Engineers as well as 4 civil servants. The small team of dedicated people ensures that the BBMF is seen throughout the country from May to September every year. In fact, this year the BBMF is scheduled to appear at over 100 displays and some 1,000 flypasts. The flight's 40 engineers work tirelessly to ensure that the BBM aircraft are kept in excellent condition, conducting deep maintenance over the winter and then keeping the aircraft airworthy in the summer. If you'd like to know more about the flight or the Royal Air Force, you can find us at ref.mod.uk/BBMF or just Google RAF BBMF. You can follow us on Twitter and
service now on Royal Air Force Chinook, and he brings our team here from. But we also are the only operational squadron that can be deployed anywhere overseas at any time to be delivering a live display as well. So the first manoeuvre you're going to see as this noise builds is the pull up into the pedal turn. And as the aircraft dives back down towards the sea, no lower than 150 feet here today, you're going to see it level off, come to the left, and then position out for the next manoeuvre. Now, this aircraft is very carefully flown by a crew of 3 today. 4 is the normal for operating the Chinook, but on display duties, we operate with just 3. And they're now going to pull up into the roller coaster. You'll see the aircraft pitched up to about 50 degrees, nosed over the top as Schmitty looks out to the side, looking for his ground speed to drop to about 0, pitching that nose forward, and then descending back to 150 feet before repeating that manoeuvre. Now, Paul in the left-hand seat is again assisting Schmitty with this, because Schmitty is going to have to keep his eyes out of the aircraft the entire time, make sure he's flying this aircraft visually and not glancing in at his instruments. So Paul provides what we call the patter, or the display commentary if you like, from the left-hand seat, talking Schmitty through each manoeuvre, making sure that he goes no lower than 150 feet. Ideally doesn't pitch up beyond 50 degrees because the aircraft limit is 60, making sure his angle of bank is controlled, and again within these next 2 manoeuvres. To fly this enormous helicopter as part of this display sequence. Now at the left-hand end there, you heard Paul say, "Ready, turn now." That's a cue for Schmitty on that pedal turn to make sure his eyes go across cockpit from right to left, looking for his markers as he's about to enter that pedal turn, and then gets the turn applied before the aircraft reaches 0 speed at the top. Very important, because of course if he doesn't, it will fall backwards out of the sky. An incredibly uncomfortable experience for anyone who's been in that situation. And therefore it is really important this crew work very closely together throughout. Now this next manoeuvre is the quick stop. So you can see the aircraft pitched up, both rotor blades presented to the oncoming airflow, and 16.5 tons of aircraft brought to a stop from about 120 knots in a very short space of time. Now we use that manoeuvre if we need to on the battlefield, if we stop troops late, if we spot troops late as we come over ridge lines, or if we come over, or if they come out of cover at the last minute. And as you can see there, we're going to enter the sideways trawl from right to left. You're going to see the ramp drop now, and you're going to see on that ramp Sergeant Danny Gilderson, known as Gilders. Now Danny's our display crewman here this afternoon. He joined the RAF in 2009 and converted to the Chinook in 2014. He's also deployed to the Falklands and Mali many times, taken part in many overseas exercises. And I'd encourage all of you to wave back at him now as he kneels on that ramp, balancing on his knees as he waves to you with those big orange hands, a signature part of the Chinook display. Now this was another operational manoeuvre that was developed during the Chinook's time in Bosnia to depart a very distinctive landing site in a very tight valley. Now operationally the aircraft has weapon systems both on the left hand, the right hand side of the aircraft and on the ramp, but nothing on the nose. Which means in this tight valley that manoeuvre was designed to keep those weapons rotating so that if anybody engaged the aircraft with fire from the ground, that fire could be returned to protect the aircraft. And at the top of that manoeuvre, Schmitty's got the nose down now. He's accelerating back to 120 knots, 405 degrees of turn, to come back round onto the display axis once again. Now as you see that aircraft turn, you can hear that distinctive noise, what we call blade slap. It's a noise we come to love. You've heard some wonderful noises this afternoon, Merlin engines from the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, and then of course the Typhoon as well. Now we prefer this noise because for all of us, jet noise is boring. And here we go then, working towards the end of the Chinook display. The aircraft again is going to be positioned out to the right hand side. We have a technique that we can land like a fixed wing on the back two wheels, bring it to a stop, and then bring the front down safely. But without that runway here today, we're going to show you another quick stop. There's the pitch up. You can hear that aircraft biting the air now. No more than 20 degrees of pitch up. If you imagine a runway below that aircraft, you can imagine how close that back rotor blade would come to the ground. And that's again why this is flown within limits throughout. They're going to turn towards you now. They're going to flash their landing lights. You might even get a slight bow. Give them a good wave back, everybody, because this is your last chance to say goodbye and thank you very much to the Chinook display team here today. And they're going to depart with a final operational manoeuvre, something we call the over-the-shoulder departure. Now, if the aircraft was engaged from its 12 o'clock, i.e. if you were to fire a weapon at the aircraft from your position, that is effectively a manoeuvre that we use to present bulletproof plates on the bottom of the aircraft to that threat and then run away bravely.
Loud, it's colourful, the 2022 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrow! Red One bringing the formation, pulling up at over 400 miles per hour and 4G as they collapse into 7 arrow shape. They will reach a height of approximately 5,500 feet and will slow down to approximately 150 miles per hour at the apex of that loop. Red One will now bring the formation to the right as they maintain their 7 arrow shape. Red One this year is squadron leader Tom Bold. He is in the second year as the team leader. He is a former Typhoon pilot. He was also the synchro lead in 2017. And he's also a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T Mark II and Tucano, and was a Tucano display pilot in 2010. The smoke comes on as Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 make their way to the back of the formation to form our first big-winged space-themed shapes. Get your cameras ready for the shuttle roll. As the team roll left towards the pilots, we'll be able to see you, so make sure you give them a massive wave and a huge round of applause as they roll through the sun. On the right hand side is Red 2 Flight Attendant Stu Roberts. He's in his first year on the team, having previously served on Typhoon with 11 and 12 Squadron. On the left hand side is Red 3 Flight Attendant Patrick Kershaw, also in his first year on the team. He's a former Tornado GR4 pilot and has also flown Typhoon with 11 and 12 squadrons at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire. Once again from Reds 4 and 5 on the outside as they move up alongside Red 2, just tucked in behind Red 6. The Red Arrows are based at RAF Scampton to the north of Lincoln. RAF Scampton this is the Lightning Loop. Once again pulling up at 4G and achieving 5,500 feet, slowing to 150 miles per hour, which makes the controls a little less responsive, making that formation keeping and station keeping even more difficult, certainly for Reds 4 and 5 on the outside of the shape. Red 1 bringing the formation to the left, and on the far right hand side, uppermost as we look at it, is squadron leader John Bond, known as Bondy. He's in his 5th year on the team, having previously been synchro leader last year. He was also a former Typhoon pilot and a qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, and he was also the Tucano display pilot in 2012. Smoke comes on once again from Reds 4 and 5 on the outside as Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 move up, just sat behind Red 1. The go call is made as red 7 moves to the left and red 6 moves to the right, with all the odd numbers on the left hand side and all the even numbers now on the right hand side. Also while red 1 is bending the formation around the right, pulling 3G, making the move even more difficult. Once again, get your cameras ready for the Phoenix roll. Once again, they can see you, give them a huge wave, and you can see the shape of the Hawk aircraft, which has been in service with the Royal Air Force since 1976, and has been the aircraft of the Red Arrows since 1979. Since March 2022 this year, with the closure of 100 Squadron and 736 Royal Naval Air Squadron, that makes the Red Arrows the sole operator of the Hawk T-Mark 1 in the United Kingdom. And therefore, to acknowledge the importance of space, with a shape that represents the lunar landing craft of the 1960s early space missions, this is Apollo. As I said, the Red Arrows is a military unit, and as such, Red 4 calls the aboard as Red 4 and 5 roll around the smoke of the rest of the formation. Look for the colour change as Red 1 brings the formation to the right. As Reds 4 and 5 now smoke in the red and blue. Smoking red is Flight Lieutenant Dave Simmons, known as Simo. He is a former Tornado GR4 pilot and also flew the Harrier and the F5 while on exchange with the United States Marine Corps. – 2022 is an important year for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth as Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth, celebrates 70 years on the throne, therefore making her the longest serving Queen in history. In celebration of her prestigious Platinum Jubilee, once again get your cameras ready for the Jubilee Present. I talked about earlier about how we have the blues on the squadron. Red 6 and 7 breaking away from us. Red 7 to our left smoking red and Red 6 smoking blue to our right hand side. In a manoeuvre we call the double rolls. The colour comes on as they perform a series of barrel rolls through the sky, leaving a snake-like smoke trail through the sky in a manoeuvre we like to call the Python. You will have heard a tone across the radio there. That is actually Red 6 toning, so he doesn't get on the top of Red 1's radio transmissions. And that is the cue for Red 6 and 7. Over 800 miles per hour. They'll perform a series of rolls, inverted passes before pulling up in a manoeuvre we call the boomerang. They will reach approximately 2,500 to 3,000 feet before being inverted, with 60 degrees no down, trying to capture that 100 feet and hurtling towards each other at 800 miles an hour before they depart with some 4-point rolls in the conclusion of the boomerang. However, look to your left and you 2 and 3 now smoke red and roll around the rest of the formation. Reds 4 and 5 do the same while smoking blue in one of the hardest manoeuvres for our new pilots each year to manoeuvre. It is the rollbacks. Red 6 rolls inverted. He is now inverted and will be able to see you, so make sure you give him a big wave as he flies down the line with Red 7 rolling the red, white and blue around the smoke of Red 6. Red 7 is Flight Lieutenant James Turner. He's in his 3rd year on the team, having previously flown Typhoon and is a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T Mark 1. Blackpool give the sync comes on as it rolls left, and look to your front right 45 and you'll see Ian formation in an inverted V. As Red 6 lines synchro pair up on the rest of the formation, get your cameras ready for the colourful double goose. Each aircraft is fitted with a smoke pod, and that smoke pod is capable of producing 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red smoke and 1 minute of blue smoke. And therefore each display is carefully and specially choreographed to ensure that we have the right colour at the right time during display and that we don't run out. For the crowd favourite, the Synchro Heart. Today's heart is dedicated for a happy birthday to Amanda Hollingworth from Neil, and one of our operations officers, flying officer Tasha Nicholson, would like to say hello and dedicate to her heart to her nieces Fern and Margot. But once again, give with some inverted flying for the crossbow. Look directly to your front and you can see it.
Oh yeah, thank you.
The red smoke comes on from Red 1 as he performs a series of rolls around the rest of the formation, leaving the infinity symbol in the sky for the infinity break. However, Blackpool, what a wonderful weather and day it's been. Please put your hands together for the 2022 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows!